It took me a while to embrace my natural hair. After years of struggle, I learned to appreciate the autonomous locks that rest atop my head. But hate entered the picture when my mother would style my tender-headed scalp, rushing to comb out my kinks with a fine tooth. The hate should have been directed at my scalp for being so sensitive. But in my eyes, my insubordinate hair was to blame. See, I'd witnessed the white girls in my class manage their hair with ease. Why did mine choose to be so difficult? Hair can be an amazing vessel to express yourself, but that can be hard when there's a hair hierarchy by Issa Rae. It didn't help that I had to sit on a West African woman's floor for 6 to 10 hours at a stretch as she braided my hair for the convenience of my mother. The 2 to 3 months of hassle-free hair almost seemed worth the time and pain. But nobody told me about the hair hierarchy. If you don't understand how it works, the hair hierarchy rates worth by length and texture of hair. The longer, silkier, and more European your hair, the higher your worth. The shorter, kinkier, and more African your hair, kill yourself. I was taught this caste system by a trio of mean girls in middle school who found glee in taunting me. To them, my insistence on wearing my hair in an afro puff made me an easy target. One girl mused, "She might take something out of her nappy hair and throw it at you." I wish I could have. Middle school girls are cruel. Clever, but cruel. Even now, almost 20 years later, I harbor resentment towards these girls. Still though, nothing could have prepared me for the hate and ridicule I'd receive for wearing my hair in its natural state. Despite whatever was trending, I couldn't understand why people were so concerned with how my hair looked when it grew out of my scalp. Why was it so offensive? Of course, my 6th grade brain didn't understand the history or social implications of my natural hair, so I just handled it the best way I could, by hiding it. Over the course of my adolescence, I hid my hair through braids, scarves, flat iron presses, and hoods. Anything just to avoid showing my real hair in public. My hair, once a source of confidence, became my burden of shame. My mother was disgusted by my insecurity. She just didn't get it. I begged her to let me relax my hair like the other girls at school, but she warned me repeatedly that my hair was too soft to handle the chemicals in relaxer. But I insisted. A few weeks after rocking my fresh relaxer, I noticed that my hair started to fall off at rapid speed. After it all fell out, I soon realized that I was worse off than how I was before. The sad fact that I was willing to damage my own God-given hair before wearing it out in public was not lost on me. After college, though, I moved to New York and started experimenting with weaves. It was like cheating. I could achieve the coveted top tier of the hierarchy while keeping my natural hair hidden underneath. The difference in reception to my new hair was astonishing. Guys who had never and would never talk to me before were suddenly being attentive. Having a weave even inspired me to start dressing differently and carrying myself more confidently. A mere change of style was changing my life socially and opening up all kinds of doors that had previously been shut. It lasted but a moment. One evening, while unraveling my weave, I noticed the damage done to my actual hair. Not only was it thinning from all the underweave braiding, but there was also about 9 different textures going on at the same time. Curly patches, dry patches, straight patches, long patches, short patches. Who was I trying to fool? Having listened to many of my male friends express their desire for girls with long, flowy, or curly hair, I determined that my hair was not desirable, which made me feel insecure. If I were to wear my natural hair, I'd be vulnerable. at the mercy of a man's distaste. And I wasn't ready for that yet, so I passed off my weaves as my real hair. Then one day, I saw that Natalie Stewart had released a new music video. In it, she was bald, and she looked stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, but most of all, she seemed so free. Now, I had seen plenty of bald women before, but for reasons I can't explain, her look made the deepest impression on me at a time when I was already feeling frustrated with the hold my hair had on my identity. If only I could do the same. I first expressed my desire to cut off all my hair via Facebook. Bad idea. The response was all but encouraging. With so many strong opinions, the stubborn girl in me was insistent on going through with it. 2 weeks later, on a crisp October Friday evening, I drove myself to the salon down the street, walked in, and told the woman at the counter I wanted to cut off all my hair. You want to go bald? Yeah, I just want to start over. Next thing I knew, I was sitting in a chair. I watched my locks float down to the ground. I had a brief moment of panic. Was I doing the right thing? I could dress up now and wear a hat for months. But before I could complete the thought, half my hair was gone. It was time for me to accept my decision. When it was over, the ladies in the salon all looked on with smiles. I smiled and held the mirror up. There I was. Initially, I decided to cut off all my hair as a way to start over, take a break from the stress that my hair was causing me. Yet in doing so, I found it liberated me in ways I could never imagine. Not only was it the lazy person's idea of heaven, but having no hair showed me how stupid and trivial my insecurities about hair were. It was one of the best, most life-affirming decisions I've ever made. Now, my hair and I are best friends. We formed a mutual respect for each other. It's the most wonderful feeling in the world to be comfortable in my own healthy hair. The 6th grade me would be pleased to know that, contrary to what those middle school girls thought, I am beautiful.